Creating and maintaining effective dashboards, what some good tips are. So what I just wanted to run through is obviously areas to look at. So first, looking at some challenges. I know we've all attempted to build dashboards for someone at some stage, or we've reused some of the existing dashboards that are out there, or you spent, a good half day Google searching, how the hell do I show someone some information? Just one of the first problems you run into is, what are you trying to achieve with your dashboard? I mean, every solution right now offers a great way to see data, to slice data up. I mean, Power BI is out there, Azure's coming out with some really cool dashboards. But in reality, which ones do you need to show you the information about it? And that's a big challenge for IT leaders at the moment, is not only just using it out of one tool, but trying to get information out of other tools to display it on the screen. I've seen a lot of dashboarding companies come out of there and just go, well, here's a widget and here's an iframe of data from another tool, just to show and grasp that together. I think a lot of data lake tools out there are trying to do that, and they don't really focus on actually giving you the ability to understand that information as a problem or be able to act on it. And obviously with Azure and SCOM, in Chris's case, information can lie in different parts of the system that could affect potentially one of your same applications, right? So you may have multiple servers on-prem, and you may have some workloads going into Azure which all support the same application to date, because your application team or your DevOps team is trying to use them. So how do you show that information without sending the application owner to multiple screens, different logins, showing him completely different data because one tool shows it better than the other tool? You want to match that information. So just keep in mind, it's always good to talk to your users about how to get that, understanding this is a challenge, and then how to go around fixing it. And I'm a big subscriber of keep it simple. So here's some tips to keep your dashboard simple. Know its purpose, operational short-term goals, something like, can a user find it and fix it? And a user being the user of the dashboard. So that could be an IT administrator or an IT help desk person, or whoever's tasked to fix it. That could be a third-party company, right? The faster you can show them a problem or where the problem relies on, the faster they can fix it. And then when you come to do the really cool dashboards, like the SLA reporting dashboards, the greener and more fun they are to do. Metrics, does it happen often? What causes it? A lot of tools will give you a lot of performance metrics. There's a lot of reasons about it. Focus on the ones that really help answer questions for the target audience. So a lot of people love dashboards, platform dashboards with lots of metrics of which disks are filling up, but in reality, when you're looking at a find it, fix it scenario, you only really care about the disk filling up at the moment you have to fix it. A lot of people want to do forecasting dashboards, but if you get your information right at the beginning and you set your thresholds correct in your monitoring platforms correctly, then the need for forecasting becomes less and less, because you guys are on top and in control. So that's when metrics is, start changing from performance counters of a computer to how often have I seen this problem? And is this a regular problem? Is this component always causing the problem? Do I have to invest money in that component or get the business to replace that component with maybe a newer version in cloud? Real-time updates. A lot of people forget the importance of the real-time ability because they're too busy trying to fix the problems or handle the alerts. Real-time updates could be a simple scenario I come across, which is a monitoring platform kicks out a lot of alerts. People work on the alerts, go and fix the problems, or at least they do. They close down the alerts in their mailbox or in their system, and they go on their merry way. But if they took 5 seconds more just to look at a real-time dashboard, they would actually see that the problem is still not resolved, potentially because another problem has popped up in that same application on a different server, or a different problem on that server that's also causing them problems. Good example is when you get to business services, people will complain about your email service. You go and fix their email mailbox or the server or the web component, whatever the problem is. However, you forget to check that Active Directory has also got a bit of a problem, and the domain controller that email is responding to make sure people have access is down, which means actually the problem's not fixed, yet you've gone and closed all the alerts. So asking yourself, in a real-time visualization, did I fix the problem, or is there another problem down the line that I need to be at it, and can my users use it again? Just a little touch around that one. When I ask a lot of customers, how do you measure delivery to your users? They tend to give me examples which stem from tickets, how well or how often people complain about a service. I tend to get worried in that conversation because it's an indicator to me that they're not in control of the problem before it becomes a ticket. So they're not even trying to stop asking themselves, can users use the service again? They're just, well, at a panic until servers are happy, or users are happy about it. So keep that in mind. The better you make your real-time updates, the knock-on effect you have down the path as well. High-level overview of current performance. How are we doing on all of our services? Again, if you fix Exchange but Active Directory still got a problem, just as some examples, yeah, are you really putting out the fire, or are you just pouring fuel on it, or doing tasks that are less relevant at that stage? Keeping an over level on the current availability and how components are doing, and how well you're doing on those services also allows you to allocate resources correctly and priority wise. And remember, performance can also be measured from different data sources, like ITSM tools are a really good sort of level of how well you're performing to the business, because that's where users will be measured on complaints. And if you can do that real time versus what monitoring is telling you from an IT perspective, a really good measure of how well your business is doing. Again, understanding the target of the dashboard, I'm not going to go into that, but there are many different people that will use it. Keep in mind, the better you make the dashboard for that person, the more in control they feel around the data, right? And the more you can let go of the monitoring tool and having to fix the problems and become more of a manager of information within your company. And that leads me into the benefits. So, a successful dashboard will display key data that is accurate and up to date for the environment on a one-page screen relevant to the user of the page. These are key concepts we have within IQ today. So those are actual live screenshots you can see from them. I have a live demo environment. If you guys have not had a look at it, drop me an email and we can get you some access to it and information around it. Your dashboard is only valuable as good as your input is. What I mean by that is when we start becoming that one-page screen relevance, a lot of users, I think Chris can atone to it, went out and found out that they were missing data from very specific components to improve that. So SCOM wasn't giving them everything they needed, so they looked into Azure Insights or Azure Monitoring to grab that data, and that fulfilled even further what it is. We noticed when we deployed a lot of new customers that the end user perspective of our service model, the part that actually tells you or synthetically tests if users can actually use it, tends to be grayed out. So we find a lot of customers suddenly run into a question and start asking us, what's a good measure of that? Because some of the tools that they have in place are not giving them that. Either we spend, time unlocking tests or components within those tools, or we do advise them onto, other tools out there like the one we've just recently purchased to help with Office 365 service end user transaction testing as well. If you haven't known about that, feel free to check out our webpage for updates around that specific feature for you.